Okay, absolutely, I support having GTA pooling go to where it's supposed to go, which is back for the social services of the people of Vaughan. And there's a bit of an elephant in the room that no one's talking about, and that is the huge debt that is at the region. We're about $2 billion right now. $208 million of our tax money went to just servicing that interest this year. So the pooling money is something along the order of 12 million, which is a drop in the bucket compared to the kind of money that we're having to pay to service the debt at York Region. So what happened this year? 90% of the GTA pooling money went to service the debt, to pay it down. So I absolutely support putting the GTA pooling money where it belongs. The problem is, it at the moment has been trying to service a debt load. This is a massive elephant that we have to get under control, and hopefully we'll have a chance later in the night to talk about.
Thank you. Gino?
The pooling money has been used by the region in a variety of ways, including providing services to seniors and children, and there will be more money coming. Yes, I would definitely support doing more and using more money. That has to go through a process, and the region will have to go through the usual budget process and determine priorities, but that's one area that I would definitely support as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would definitely support giving more of the GTA pooling money to expand services, because obviously that's what the community needs, and servicing the debt can be done through other methods. Thank you.
Thank you.
The quick answer is yes, and also, as I've said earlier, my Human Services Planning Board and all our initiatives will continue to work with all service providers across the region of York to ensure that we address all social issues that are required for our citizens. And it's incumbent upon all of us to work together. It's a massive issue, and if you think it's going to be solved overnight, like some people would have you believe, I think we're kidding ourselves. It's a problem that needs to be addressed, that needs cooperation by all service providers across the region. And I think with the pooling dollars that will hopefully go back to providing those services that it was intended for, we'll be able to make a little dent in a huge problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, the projected 2010 pooling money about 13.2 million here by this media release from the York region. This is going back to the residents, so the money should definitely go back to social services, directed to social services, where the needs are great, as we're addressing here tonight. So, the direction is very clear. The money should be put back where it's needed. And I don't know if the past council or regional council has done that in the past, but it should go towards our services for social needs, obviously. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's definitely not an overnight solution for this one, but definitely you have my commitment. The region, the money should go to social services where it was intended to go to. And especially looking at the groups that are at risk, the youth and the seniors. But also better access to the information and services. Communication is the key. These groups, all parts of the community have to have proper access and to the information and closer services too. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We're going to open up the question to lot number 2 to ensure consistency, because I know all of you want to speak. We're going to put a maximum of 5 minutes, but no one can speak more than 1 minute, just to maintain some equity. Robert, we're going to start with you.
Yes, I would certainly promote or be in favor of using GTA pooling for that cause. One problem at the region is, by population, the city of Vaughan is underrepresented at the region. We need strong regional representation, working for the right causes to get our fair share.
Thank you. Michael.
Thank you. Yes, I would definitely support using Vaughan's share of pooling dollars to diversify a range of services and increase accessibility. If you read the Vaughan Weekly this week, you will see an article in it that says DiBiase vows to act on behalf of children and seniors, and there's a great explanation there, and please take a minute and read it if you possibly can. Seniors are isolated. They have limited transportation services. They cannot get to places and their social activities are curtailed. And this is terrible. It's important that seniors have their physical and emotional needs met. And of course, we did talk about pooling and $12 million. Well, that portion of that $12 million should be spent on social services for our seniors. And as a regional councillor, I will commit to make sure that all the needs are met. Thank you.
Mario.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. The question is, should we be funding these services to children? The answer is absolutely. But you know what? I don't think it should come from pooling. Not because I don't think that that's the right place, but pooling is a temporary situation. In 5 years, it's going to end. I don't want the funding to the children to end when the pooling ends as well. I think it should be central. It should be part of the budget, and that's the way it should be. Otherwise, you may then have a situation where these programs and services are funded only for that term. I think that's wrong.
Thanks. I agree with Mario. I don't think pooling should be singled out as amount of money to go for a specific need. What we need to do is review our budget line by line, go over every single item that we're spending money on right now, identify where the waste is, and reprioritize all of our budget to make sure that the needs of our individual communities are met. And that includes the needs of children and seniors, but it doesn't necessarily mean that pooling dollars should go directly to fund one individual program. Pooling was something that was set up by the provincial government when some of the Toronto services and municipality services were downloaded, and it was meant as an offset. This money needs to go back to the cities where the residents are paying the pooling in the beginning and be part of the overall revenue that's worked into the budgets for that municipality, which in this case is Vaughan.
Thank you.
The short answer, Mr. McAdam, is yes, but we're talking nickels and dimes. I want to just step back for a second and give you a clear picture of what our problem really is. For 1.1 million people in York Region, we have a social service cost of $2.5 billion. By 2031, that number is projected to go to $6 billion for approximately 1.5 million people. An increase of less than 50% of our people in population, but more than 100% increase in social services. Okay? And I think what we need to do is step back, because social costs cannot be addressed without, it has to be addressed in the context of an economic strategy. Vaughan has no proactive economic development strategy to bring good jobs, because that's what people need. They need good jobs. They don't need the $10 an hour jobs and then end up at the food bank. Okay, that's exactly what we have to do.
Thank you, Richard. Mario.
I agree with you. I think we should be funding it from the GTA pooling temporarily. But in the meantime, while we're getting our funding from there, we should set ourselves up that when the program does wind down to an end, that something takes over in order to keep it going. But if that's the only resource we have at the moment, then we should go in that direction. But before it ends, not do more of the same old and wait until the very last moment. Plan on something to take its place immediately.
Thank you, Mario.